Well, greetings, YouTube model people. How is it going? All right, coming at you here with a Sunday morning model cars and coffee, hosted by Paul over at Left Coast Model Car Builds, Left Coast Model Car Builds. And as always, Paul, thank you for this series. I love it to death. We did go on a 2-week hiatus because of a couple reasons. One, if we go back 2 weekends, it was Easter weekend. I had out-of-state family, or we had out-of-state family visiting the entire weekend. It was awesome. We had a great time, and the weather was really nice in this area. So we kind of said thank you for bringing the nice weather, because they live in South Carolina now. So the weather there was a bit nicer and milder and clearer and all that good stuff. So had a great Easter weekend. I hope you did as well. I know that goes back a couple of weeks now. And then the following week was basically the NNL East, number 37, which was an amazing time. Again, a great show. If you're a model car and truck builder, you have to get to that show at least once. You will not regret it by any stretch, believe me. As a matter of fact, let me do something weird here. I'm going to go off camera for a second, because I'm going to give you guys the dates and the themes for next year's show, just to give you some enticement. Okay, so the NNL East, the 38th annual, check that number 8, 38 years they've been doing this show. The two main themes are the 63rd anniversary of 1963. So anything relating to 1963. Again, this is basically NNL East or NNL shows or car and truck or civilian model shows. Although they have a miscellaneous category and they have motorcycles, stuff like that, right? But it's mostly, cars and trucks of any kind, right? And then the second, the sub-theme is USA, 250th anniversary, red, white, and blue vehicles. And it will be on April 25th, 2026 in Wayne, New Jersey. That's when the show will be. And yeah, it should be an awesome time. And I'm toying with the idea of building something for the red, white, and blue category. Of course, it's almost a year away from now, basically, so I'm not really giving it a tremendous amount of thought. It's going to be a really challenging build for me to do, but we might give it a shot. So in the new year. So the mug this week, those who don't know, I do a different mug every time, is a nice one. That's the Virgo, because I am a Virgo. I am a September birthday person. In my family, my father was Virgo, my one grandfather was Virgo, my grandmother was Virgo. As a matter of fact, my one grandmother and I shared the exact same birth date, right? How about that? I was actually 3 weeks early, so I don't know if that would have pushed me into something else, but yeah, I was a little early when I was born. So anyway, all that aside, kind of random all over the place. I hope you're enjoying the loosey-goosey format here. But again, the NNL East, just to say, this year was amazing. We saw amazing YouTubers there. We hung out afterwards, had a great time and all that. I did a recap of that whole thing, so check that video out if you want to learn more about that. But we're going to continue on our journey here. We were just had gotten started before the hiatus. I showed you the ambulance van from the movie The Cannonball Run, right? And I said I was going to show you a couple more vehicles that aren't part of the series, but, kind of fit into it anyway. So the next one's going to be this guy over here, okay? So let's take a look at what we got. Hang on. All right, so we are back, and here is our build. Again, this was not part of the official series of MPC kits as part of the Cannonball Run movies. To my knowledge and comments that I saw in my last video, there were only 3 kits released. It was of course, the ambulance, which we showed you already. There's the Lamborghini, and then there's the Hawaiian Tropic car that was driven by Terry Bradshaw, and so on and so forth. So those were the 3 official. But I saw this and thought, you know what? This is from, I always get I always have a hard time pronouncing the model kit name company, but it's Doyusha, right? Doyusha. I think that's how you pronounce it, or pretty close to. That's this kit here, and this is 007 James Bond. So if you remember, in Cannonball Run, you had Roger Moore was in the movie, and of course he drove the famous, at that time, Aston Martin. So again, I'm failing you a little bit on this one because I think I mentioned that going forward I would give you a better date of when these things were built. But again, this is back in the early 2000s time frame for sure. Right? And this was a big deal because this roof, this was solid. And honestly, they did have a perforated edge around it there you can use to cut out the roof. And my skills were, again, we were developing for sure. Well, they're always developing, right? Hopefully. I always hope my skills are constantly developing and I never hit a stagnant point. I don't know about you guys, but anyway, it's always fun when I fail something because I'm like, wow, okay, cool. I got a lot more to learn. Believe me, I got a lot to learn yet. But, and all the different, because I built all the different genres, right? So there's so many things. But anyway, not to go on a tangent too much. But yeah, I had to cut this out, which I was super proud of because, I think it came out pretty well. Of course, you got your interior here, which is probably more inspiring than the exterior. So you got that wood grain. I think that was a decal. And then, of course, I painted the steering wheel. God, I miss that color. Model Master Leather Brown. That was a beautiful color to work with. If anyone has a good equivalent to that somewhere that they like, awesome. I did do a little black wash on the front there. I was starting to get familiar with that. So, all that good stuff. And yeah, so again, a fun little build. And if you look at the movies, it does fit in, right? Because again, as I said, in the Cannonball Run movie, there's Roger Moore. He played, basically Roger Moore. And he drove this car in the race. So very cool. So that's it, folks, for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you again, Paul, for the series. And next week, we'll show you another car, again, in a similar vein, which is built to kind of join the series of Cannonball Run cars, but it's not officially one of the Cannonball Run releases. So thank you very much. Hope you all take it easy and have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll talk to you in a little bit. All right. Cheers.